Bravo and his classmates were very excited today because it was Library Day. Bravo sat quietly at his desk. He had his library books to return sitting right there, and he was filled with anticipation. What books would he find and check out for today? He was so excited he could barely contain himself, but he sat quietly and politely at his desk. Well, finally, the teacher announced it was time to leave and go to the library. The students cheered and began gathering their books. Well, Bravo carefully placed his book in his book bag and zipped it up neatly. His classmates, however, they were in a hurry. Some tossed their books, and others just threw them right in their backpacks without even looking, and others just left them in a messy pile on their desk. Remember, class, Bravo said kindly, it is important to take care of our books and be gentle with them, especially when putting them in our backpacks. The students nodded and quickly remembered to pick up their books nicely and place them carefully in their backpacks. In the hallway, the children were whispering excitedly about which books they wanted to check out. Some giggled and wiggled in line, but Bravo reminded them, shh, hallways are for zero voices and walking feet. The students nodded again, standing up straight, getting in line, and using zero voices. When they stepped into the big library, they saw rows and rows of books, and it was just too exciting. The children started running and pulling books out and climbing on the bookshelves. One student yelled, "I want a dinosaur book," while another one yelled, "Move over, I was here first." Some of the kids ran to the bookshelves and grabbed books off and put them back without even looking where they went. Others were talking loudly and yelling. It was way too loud for the library. Bravo frowned. He knew the library was a special place for reading and learning, and it should be treated with respect. He wriggled onto a nearby table. He got up and he quietly called out in his gentle voice, "Friends, please remember our good manners." The students stopped and turned to Bravo. Bravo continued, "In the library, we use our quiet voices so everyone can read peacefully and concentrate." He reminded them that we walk instead of running, and we treat the books with care. And good manners show respect for everybody in the library. The children nodded and took a deep breath, and they softened their voices, and they walked instead of running, and they put the books back exactly where they belonged, very neatly after looking at them. Well, soon it was time to check out the books that the children wanted to borrow. The students formed a nice straight line and waited patiently for their turn to talk to the librarian and to sign out their book. The librarian was very pleased with the students and how nicely they were waiting their turn. After checking out their books, the children sat on the reading rug. Bravo wiggled up in front, holding one of his favorite books. "Would you like me to read you a story?" Bravo said. "Yes, please," said the children, quietly, of course, but still very excited. Bravo read the story with a warm, quiet voice, and the children listened and enjoyed every word. They laughed at the funny parts and smiled at the sweet parts. When the story was over, it was time to head back to class. The students held their books carefully and lined up and walked nicely out of the library with big, quiet smiles. As they reached the classroom, Bravo turned to his friends and said, "Remember, friends, good manners help us enjoy the library, and they make it a nice place for everyone. When we are polite, we show kindness and respect, and let those around us know that we are kind and we respect them as well." From that day on, the students always remembered their good manners whenever they visited the library. I hope you enjoyed this story of Bravo Goes to the Library. And remember, keep a lookout for many more adventures of Bravo. Now, here are some discussion questions. And if you'd like, Answer the questions and send an email to Bravo, and you could win a Bravo of your very own.